19, beginning with the 3rd verse. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh? Now these are words that have been used as a guidance for moral or ethical behavior. But more importantly, these are words that address the reality of each of us, whether we're in a male or female vehicle. Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. The male is your conscious mind, the female is your subconscious or soul. Your father and mother represent the place that you are familiar with, your psychological self, your finite ego, the creation that has been home to you. And for the cause of uniting male and female, we must leave the seeming comfort of that home. That we can throw ourselves wholeheartedly into the process of union. The great Sufi mystic and poet Rumi wrote, My soul is poured into yours and is blended. Because my soul has absorbed your fragrance, you are precious to me. Now, like the Bible, Rumi's writings can be taken on different levels, and have been. Many people have related to those writings as love poems, a man to a woman or a woman to a man. But the mystic knows that these are poems that are written from the aspirant to the divine being within. And sometimes it is the voice of the divine being within speaking to the aspirant. My soul is poured into yours and is blended, because my soul has absorbed your fragrance. You are precious to me. In the liturgy for the marriage ceremony that I've used innumerable times, just before the final uniting of the bride and groom, after they've partaken of the bread, the body of Christ in the communion, and after they've received the blessed water, which is part of the ceremony, the celebrant says, now that you have received the bread of life and received the water of the Spirit and have vowed to take one another as man and wife, now receive his blood. You also should share the essence of your experience and hold one another in loving respect to God and man. So we have before us the keys to understanding the communion and union itself. How it's so important for us to leave our life in this world, to leave all that we had been, and move forward to the union which is before us. But as Rumi said, I've been blended with you. The great being says to us, we've been blended together. And because of that blending, your fragrance is precious to me. Who you are, the essence of who you are, everything about you that you brought to that experience of union, everything that you've opened up to, standing naked before the throne, is precious. For it is in that relationship, withholding nothing, resisting not evil, pretending not to be this, that, or the other, but to be open and transparent to the unconditional and unconditioned love of the great being, this great self, which exists fully within us, as we exist fully within it. And so when we approach the altar to take communion and we're receiving the body and the blood, we know that the body is the perfect pattern, the perfect container, the life lived, the form. The blood is the essence of the experience. And in this case, it's the essence of the experience of a master teacher of such high caliber that he was able to not only transcend death, but did it in such a way that paved the way for all of humanity that followed, to be able to also have that experience of transcendent freedom. One man has died for all, therefore all men have died. That's all wrapped up in the experience of the communion. The seeds of our unfoldment, the seeds of our growth, are planted as deeply as we allow. When we truly open ourselves, hiding nothing of ourselves from the face of God. that we may be breathed into and inhaled as a fragrance dear to the great self. That then becomes true realization. Not a fragmented realization that is only experienced when we have transcendental experiences in meditation, or a moment of bliss when we're in nature. But because we've been permeated, because we've been reduced to a fragrance, because we've been inhaled and are held dear, we feel and know that every part of us, every particle of us, every psychological wart of us, every physical, mental, emotional idiosyncrasy of us is transfused with the divine. That's what we have before us. That is realization. So we seek because we are sought. We know because we are known. And we love because we are loved. In these things reside all service, all upliftment, all extension of self into matter. And it is the extension of self into matter that is the way of the great Christ, which we follow.